behalf of Major League Baseball, we are thrilled to be here in Omaha, and we're thrilled to have the Kansas City Royals with us. Today here really exemplifies the rich ties between the Royals and the city of Omaha, the state of Nebraska. Thank you, gentlemen, all for being here. We've manager of the Royals, Ned-Yost, with Merrifield, product of the University of South Carolina, Alex Gordon, product of the University of Nebraska, and the greatest Royal of them all, Hall of Famer George Brett, who played AAA ball here in Omaha. So we're thrilled to get started. If you have a question, just raise your hand. Jessica and Gina will get you the microphones. Who's got the first question? We'll start right up here with Brad.
George, obviously you being a native Californian, when you came through and played in Omaha and went with the Royals, it's kind of probably, I assume, a learning experience with the Midwest. What struck you about just the regional nature of the relationship between Omaha and baseball and Kansas City and Omaha as a parent farm club?
Well, when I signed in 1971, the Royals sent me the day after I graduated high school to Billings, Montana, and that was culture shock. From there, I went to San Jose, California the next year, and that was kind of northern California, so I was pretty comfortable there. But coming to the Midwest is my first stop in Omaha, and traveling to towns like Evansville, Indiana, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and places like that, I just kind of like the Midwest. I like the Midwest lifestyle, and that's why I chose to stay in Kansas City all these years. But I really don't remember a lot about that first year in Omaha. I only played here one, but I was 19 years old, and I just turned 19 and lived at 84th and Q in Wentworth Apartments, and was very happy to get out of there to get to Kansas City. But it's great to be back. I've been back a lot since then, and when my kids were younger, we would always come up this week for the College World Series because my kids all played Little League Baseball, and it seems like they all had games all over, Nebraska and all over this part of town. So it's good to be back. I really like the Midwest.
And right here, Mike in the second.
Well, it would be special to have a game-winning, a championship-winning hit in any ballpark, but the fact that it was the last hit in Rosenblatt, is that a different kind of special? Does that mean a little bit more to you? And what do you remember most about that night?
Yeah, it's obviously special. It wasn't what we were thinking about at the time. It was, we brought South Carolina its first ever national championship in any sport. So that was the big deal for us. And then as years go by, you kind of reflect on it, you think, wow, Rosenblatt was such an iconic park. To be able to shut it down the way we did was pretty surreal. So I just remember Rosenblatt being just the ultimate college baseball atmosphere. The fans were so passionate, they sort of gravitated towards us, which made it more special. And it was loud. It was the loudest thing I'd ever played on, and it was a ton of fun.
And third row in the center.
Alex, the feelings for you to be in uniform in the state of Nebraska tonight, how do you describe it? And also, apparently not being in the lineup, what are your feelings?
First of all, it's unfortunate not to be in the lineup tonight.
It's my fault.
Being back at Nebraska, you want to be out there for your fans and where you grew up. So that's unfortunate. But if it was during the season, anywhere else, I wanted to play just because how my shoulder feels right now. So I really wanted to play tonight, but I think it was just a smart decision on our part just to kind of sit it out tonight. So who knows, maybe I'll get a pinch hit or something, but we'll see.
Yeah, for Whit and Alex, could both of you just answer, how much talk is there when you guys get up into the level you're at right now? How much time do you guys spend talking about your college days?
Well, when football season comes, a good bit. And obviously this time of the year too, when the College World Series starts to come around, we were watching Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament, Big 12 tournament, Big 10 tournament. We live in our own bubble in the SEC. But yeah, we talk about stuff like that, and that's when we sort of start reliving the old days. But then football season comes around, and Nebraska and South Carolina come up a good bit then.
I think it's kind of fun during this time just with the regionals and super excitement that all the kids have during the games and stuff like that. So you kind of reminisce about, you know, when you played and share with the guys on your team, but it's just fun to watch how much passion they have during these games and how much it means to them. So I know we're all glued to the TV when these things are going on. So.
Other questions? Right back here, Jessica.
Alex, being in your home state and having the fan support that you've had throughout your entire career, just how special is that for you to even, as a veteran now, to come back here and in your introductions are going to get loud cheers? Just what has that support meant to you from day one?
Yeah, well, it's been my whole career. I've been pretty fortunate to be drafted by Kansas City, which is close to home. So, you know, not only here, but, you know, in Kauffman Stadium, you know, I always get Nebraska chants and stuff like that. So the love is always there, no matter where I go. And ex-players can tell you that no matter where you go, there's always going to be some Nebraska fan in the stands yelling at you, supporting you. So that kind of passion from our fans is very grateful for all the ex-players and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's going to be great tonight. And I know Nicky Lopez is back here tonight too. So there's a few guys, Diekman's here. So it'll be fun for all of us, for sure.
Other questions? Right here, third row.
George, I know you followed Alex, have followed his career closely since the beginning, and there were inevitable comparisons between him and you when he was drafted. Obviously, it's gone a different direction, not playing third base, but how do you feel about the way that he has represented the Royals for the last 12 or 13 years?
I think he's been a poster child for him. I really do. Nate and I were talking today earlier, and I remember when they were going to send him down, and he and Trey Hillman, I believe, right? And they told him he was going down to Omaha, and he didn't say a word, and then they said, and by the way, we're going to put you in left field, and that's when he all of a sudden thought, okay, here comes the argument. And Alex didn't say a word. He went down there, and I remember Dayton went down, Rusty Kuntz went down, who was going to be his new outfield coach, and in a short time, he was one of the best left fielders the Royals have ever had, just by his work ethic alone. And he's always had great work ethic. Nobody works harder. I like to go to the gym. Ned likes to go to the gym 6 o'clock in the morning, Ned, in spring training. Alex is in there every day. He's doing more, and I mean, I'm sitting there watching him work out, and I'm going, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I mean, how could a guy do that and then go play a baseball game and do all the drills and things like that? But nobody's worked harder. He's had a great career. His career might not be over. He's having a great year this year, and hopefully he'll choose to live in Kansas City and become part of that community, because the community there loves him.
Other questions? To your left, gentlemen.
Yeah, Ned, two questions. Number one, could you give a little bit of a rundown just on rehab and injury situations? And the other thing was, could you discuss your thoughts on just the relationship with the college game at your level? Can you tell a guy that's maybe gone through the college process when he gets to